revealed Liverpool's big transfer fear over Ibrahima Konate amid Real Madrid interest. Real Madrid have reportedly sent shockwaves through Anfield after opening direct lines with Ibrahima Konate over a blockbuster move to the Bernabeu. The 26-year-old has become one of the Premier League's most dependable center-backs at Merseyside. But his future now hangs in the balance. Madrid's interest comes at a critical moment as his contract with the Reds runs out at the end of this season, leaving the club at risk of losing him for nothing. What happened? Determined not to repeat the painful Trent Alexander-Arnold saga, Liverpool's hierarchy are scrambling to tie Konate down to fresh terms, but fear he's already agreed a deal to move to Madrid. The club are set to table a lucrative new deal within days, hoping to keep one of Arne Slot's few fit senior defenders at Anfield. Every possible lever is being pulled, all aimed at convincing the France international to commit his future to Merseyside. The message from the boardroom is clear. They cannot afford to see him walk away for free. The bigger picture, according to Marca, Liverpool's stance is firm. If Konate turns down this new offer again, the club will consider putting him on the market before the transfer window shuts. While they would rather keep him, selling now would at least ensure a minimum fee instead of watching him depart for nothing next summer. Tell me more. Real Madrid, meanwhile, are quietly playing the long game. The Anfield bosses fear that Konate has already made a verbal commitment to Los Blancos. If that's true, Madrid could simply wait until January, when Konate would be free to sign a pre-contract agreement. Xabi Alonso's squad planning has also been adjusted to accommodate a potential new arrival. By keeping a place open in the senior team, by registering Franco Mastantuono with Real Madrid Castilla, the Merengues are ensuring they have space for Konate without needing to offload any existing first-team members. Did you know? And what many view as a telltale move, Liverpool have already agreed a £26 million, €30 million deal with Parma for teenage defensive prodigy Giovanni Leone. The 18-year-old Italian youth international is expected in Merseyside this week for a medical and to finalize personal terms. The transfer all but confirms Liverpool are bracing for any eventuality, including the worst-case scenario of losing Konate before the transfer window is closed. What next for Liverpool? Liverpool kick off their Premier League title defense against Bournemouth today. At present, Konate and Virgil van Dijk are Slot's only fully fit senior central defenders, with Joe Gomez just returning from a lengthy Achilles layoff. This means the Dutch manager has little option but to field the French international against the Cherries. Ibrahima Konate. Real Madrid take incredibly bold step. It's no secret at this stage that Real Madrid want to sign Ibrahima Konate. It no longer seems like much of a secret that Konate wants to join Real Madrid. That's the line out of Spain anyway, and has been for quite some time now. The Frenchman's contract expires at the end of the season, and Los Blancos smell another potential free transfer. It's a repeat of the Trent Alexander-Arnold saga, of course, that saw Alexander-Arnold string Liverpool along for at least a year before eventually deciding to sign for Real Madrid. They're trying the same strategy, convincing Konate that they're the ultimate destination and making it near impossible for the Reds to agree a new contract, and it appears to be working in back-to-back years. However, there's a twist here. Things are different this time around, and it means Real Madrid have taken a bold new step. Real Madrid leaves squad space for Ibrahima Konate. Marca reports that Real Madrid are leaving a squad space open in case Konate joins them in this transfer window. That involves leaving Franco Mastantuono with their Castilla side for a bit, as they did with both Vinicius and Rodrigo. So, could a transfer actually happen this summer? Yes, actually. Real Madrid are a bit desperate after finishing last season. Trophyllis, their defense, in particular, looks subpar with Dean Huijsen. Still a young player and one who hasn't been a player in a leading side before. Their best option. They may well reach a point where success looks difficult to achieve without an elite addition there. Konate, with just 1 year remaining on his contract, would be far and away their best option. But that would mean Liverpool wanted to sell. It's possible they reach that point if a deal can be done for Marc Guéhi, who also has just 1 year left on his deal. Real Madrid are only willing to put up around €25 million, however, which makes it difficult when Crystal Palace wants significantly more than that for their captain. Liverpool are only going to sell Konate if they can effectively replace him for free immediately, as they will be able to do next summer. So there's a long way to go here. It's certainly bold to leave a space for Konate when a deal isn't remotely close, but perhaps it's a sign that Real Madrid are more open to negotiation than first thought. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It's easy to leave Marseille. Mason Greenwood transfer update offered by Roberto De Zerbi as manager sends out warning. Marseille boss Roberto De Zerbi warned an Endymion Mason Greenwood that, while leaving the French giants might be simple, finding a club that offers the same platform and passion could prove far harder. The English striker's electric debut season in League One has turned heads across Europe. But De Zerbi is making it clear, Marseille isn't prepared to let its crown jewel walk out the door without a fight. What happened? Greenwood's first year at the Stade Vélodrome couldn't have been scripted better. Bagging 21 league goals, the former Manchester United man not only became a League One sensation, but also claimed a share of the coveted Golden Boot, along with Paris Saint-Germain striker Ousmane Dembélé. The bigger picture, such a form has inevitably stirred up interest, with clubs in Spain and Saudi Arabia monitoring his situation closely. In Spain, memories are still fresh of his standout spell at Getafe, where he showcased the same sharp eye for goal and creativity that has now lit up Marseille's attack. What De Zerbi said. Speaking to reporters ahead of the new season, De Zerbi underlined his desire to keep his core squad intact, name-checking Greenwood alongside key names like Leonardo Balerdi, Geronimo Rulli, Adrien Rabiot, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. "I don't think they'll leave," he said. Keeping Balerdi, Rulli, Rabiot, Højbjerg, Greenwood is important for OAM and for them. It's easy to leave Marseille, but difficult to find a similar place. Did you know? The prospect of losing Greenwood is one that Marseille's hierarchy clearly dreads. The forward has been instrumental in their attacking play, quickly becoming a fan favorite since his move from Manchester United. Crucially, a clause in the agreement that took Greenwood from Old Trafford to the south of France means United are entitled to 50% of any transfer fee the League One club might receive for him. This significantly limits the financial windfall Marseille would enjoy from any sale, making the decision to part with him all the more difficult. The club's executives know that replacing his talent, influence, and potential resale value would be a major challenge in both sporting and economic terms. What next for Marseille? While De Zerbi's recent comments are aimed at quelling speculation and keeping Greenwood focused on the season ahead, the reality is that transfer windows have a habit of producing unexpected twists. Greenwood's performances have seen his market values soar, drawing the attention of several elite European clubs who view him as a long-term attacking solution. The growing interest puts Marseille in a delicate position: hold firm and risk unsettling the player, or engage in negotiations that could bring in a huge fee, half of which would go straight to Manchester United. With the January and summer markets offering prime opportunities for high-profile deals, a mega money bid could test Marseille's resolve if such an offer arrives. The club's leadership will have to weigh immediate financial benefit against their long-term ambitions, squad stability, and the passionate reaction of their supporters. For now, all eyes turn to Friday evening when Marseille open their league. One campaign with a tricky away fixture against Rennes at Roazhon Park. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Man OTD pushing for Carlos Baleba transfer as they come up with pay structure and swap deal proposal. United remain undeterred by Brighton's tough stance. Manchester United are planning to continue pushing for Carlos Baleba's signature. Brighton are understood to want around £120 million for the 21-year-old, with owner Tony Bloom known for sticking to his guns. But the Old Trafford hierarchy remain unfazed by Brighton's refusal and are currently figuring out how to construct a payment package. According to The Independent, United are considering an initial £80 million fee, with the rest made up of add-ons. There would be a will to send a player such as Roma-linked Jadon Sancho the other way, but it's unlikely that Brighton will go for that. But it's also understood that Baleba is priced above what United would be prepared to pay this summer. He is the midfielder that United's Ineos hierarchy would wish to sign were they not operating within tight PSR rules. Fans question how the club could afford to splash £200 million on three new signings: Matthias Cunha, Brian Bumo, and Benjamin Sa. But it's become clear that the PSR scare stories were perhaps overblown. With United operating within the guidelines after spreading out contracts, installments, however, splashing another £100 odd million on a player might be too big an ask. United are on the hunt for a dynamic midfielder to go in Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 pivot after unconvincing displays by Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro in pre-season. Academy hero and breakout England midfielder Kabi Manu is also struggling to find a consistent place and position in Amorim's squad. Baleba joined Brighton in 2023 but has already secured his position as a key figure for the Seagulls, making 34 appearances in a season where Brighton finished 8th. He is another example of Brighton's impressive scouting system. signed as a replacement for British record transfer Moises Caicedo, who in turn took the place of Yves Bissouma after a big money move to Tottenham. This is a tried and tested formula for Brighton, as they have lost key players in the past, such as Alexis Mac Allister, only for others to step up and fill in. Baliba previously told The Sun that praise from players like Declan Rice, Kounhan, and Joelinton, as well as watching Man City star Rodri lift the Ballon d'Or, has encouraged him to set his sights on the most prestigious individual award in football. Baliba missed Brighton's last 3 preseason games, having not played since mid-July with a reported knee injury. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. David Ornstein drops AS to Arsenal update after Tottenham talks. Arsenal remain interested in signing Crystal Palace's Ibaraki, and a move may activate later in the summer transfer window. David Ornstein has confirmed on the Sports Agents podcast. AS's future has been a topic of mass discussion in the current window, with the Palace attacking midfielder heavily linked with the departure. Given Sport correspondent Ben Jacobs recently reported that Tottenham Hotspur are keen on AS, while Arsenal are active in their pursuit, with the England international having a release clause worth an initial £60 million, but it expires on Friday night, just before the beginning of the Premier League season. As we are just a few days away from the new campaign, Palace fans will be sweating over the future of AS, and it's no surprise considering his importance to the side. With Arsenal and Tottenham both keen, it will be interesting to see whether he's plying his trade at Selhurst Park next season. David Ornstein, Arsenal remain keen on Ibarrechi's. Speaking on the Sports Agents podcast, Ornstein has provided an update on Arsenal's interest in AS. The respected reporter confirms that Arsenal remain interested in signing the England international, but it could be a move that is activated later in the summer transfer window. Let's see if that happens. They've got an interest in him, and I think they're in and among the sort of conversation. It may activate later in the window. As I think it's well documented, as an Arsenal fan, or grew up as an Arsenal fan, he would be in favor of a move there. I think it was being looked at when there was a possibility of Ethan Nwaneri, the young talent, leaving because he was into the last year of his contract, because Arsenal now see him in the 8-10 role, as opposed to the right side where he played last season. AS occupies the same space. They've got Martin Odegaard around there, and they've got Max Doman coming through, and hopes could not be higher for him. So if Nwaneri had departed, I think the idea was not Noni Madwek, that was independent. It was AS. Nwaneri signs his new contract, and so AS is a less pressing concern. If Tottenham or Arsenal don't decide to activate AS's release clause before the beginning of the season, then it will be interesting to see what price Palace demand to allow him to depart. AS appears to be keen on a move to either North London club, which could alter their stance on how much they are willing to sell him for. Tottenham will now turn their attention to the start of the Premier League season, after their heartbreaking defeat to PSG on Wednesday night. Spurs led by 2 but ultimately gave up their lead and succumbed to a penalty shootout defeat. Spurs will be pleased with their progress but must focus ahead of the Premier League's start this weekend. Here's the latest Tottenham news and transfer rumors. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Man United and Chelsea struggling to bridge gap in valuation of Alejandro Garnacho as transfer standoff drags on. Manchester United and Chelsea are struggling to bridge the gap in their valuations of Alejandro Garnacho as the Blues continue their pursuit. What happened? Per The Telegraph, United and Chelsea remain locked in talks over a deal for Garnacho, but there is a significant gap in the two clubs' valuations of the player. Chelsea would like to pay £30 million, $41 million, for the Argentina international, but United want closer to £50 million, $68 million. Bayer Leverkusen made a bid worth around £30 million in January, which was rejected. The bigger picture: Garnacho is reportedly keen on the move and has asked United to sell him to the Blues. Chelsea have been in talks with United for some time, and the Red Devils' valuation has already dropped from £70 million, $95 million, suggesting there may be even more leeway in talks. Did you know? Garnacho, who was recently spotted with a vape in his hand, has reportedly passed the Blues' background checks, with any concerns over his temperament and discipline brushed aside by the West London Giants. What next? Chelsea face Crystal Palace on Sunday in their opening game of the Premier League season, while United play Arsenal. Exiled Garnacho won't be involved in the latter. Alejandro Garnacho issues ultimatum to Man United over Chelsea transfer. Chelsea's valuation of the Argentina international has also reportedly been revealed. Alejandro Garnacho has warned Manchester United that he is prepared to sit on the sidelines for the 2025-26 season if he is not granted a transfer to Chelsea. A report has claimed Garnacho is free to leave United this summer after clashing with manager Ruben Amorim, and Chelsea, who explored a January swoop for the Argentina international, have ramped up their interest in a summer deal. Personal terms are believed to have been agreed between Chelsea and Garnacho, who has made it clear he wants to move to Stamford Bridge this summer. Reports have gone as far as to state the 21-year-old is expecting to join Chelsea before the window closes. Garnacho's desire to join Chelsea is so strong that, according to Fabrizio Romano, he has challenged United to strike a deal with the Blues, or he will spend the upcoming campaign on the sidelines, refusing to consider a move to any other club. United are prepared to sell Garnacho, but a fresh update from Romano has revealed their refusal to entertain swap deals. Chelsea have proposed sending any of Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, Axel Disasi, and Renato Vega to Old Trafford, but the Red Devils want a cash-only sale. A price tag of £50 million, $67.2 million, has been set by United, but Chelsea are thought to be pursuing a deal closer to the £30 million mark. Garnacho's apparent refusal to entertain other offers undoubtedly works in Chelsea's favor. United have already settled for a loan exit for Marcus Rashford, and may be forced to lower their demands to raise funds after spending over £200 million on the attacking trio of Matheus Cunha, Brian Bumo, and Benjamin Sesko. Chelsea are also exploring a deal to sign RB Leipzig midfielder Xavi Simons, likely alongside Garnacho, and may benefit from the Bundesliga side's interest in re-signing Nkunku as part of the agreement. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.